Well, it looks like we're starting off with a little bit of a bare wall today, but I'll show you why coming up. Hi Stitchy friends! Welcome to Cross My Stitches. My name is Jackie and today is September 5th, 2023. And this is episode 80 something. It'll be listed at the beginning because I don't remember which one it is. It might be 86 or 87, somewhere around there. But welcome to my channel. I'm glad I'm back and I have lots to share with you today. You'll see that there's some empty spots on my wall. And since we're getting so close to the beginning of fall, I thought I would share with you some of my fall finishes before I put them out in the main part of the house. So this is my crafty room. I'll hang all my stuff, my cross stitch up on my wall if it's not in the correct season, and I leave it up so I can look at it all year round. And then I'll take it down and move it out to the living room and the dining room area so that I can view it during the holidays. So I pulled stuff down to show you what I have done. I have several viewers that have not been here last year that saw some of these, so I thought I'd share them again. I'm sure none of you that have been with me since the beginning mind seeing them again, so I'm going to share them. And we're also got AB Singo going right now, so that is the monthly challenge from the cross stitch group called Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge. If you don't know about that, that's the group that, words are just not coming again. That is the group that Carolyn Zook and Robin Hall are the moderators of, and they run challenges every month. And for the month of September, they have a monthly challenge every month. I really don't participate in that. It's more like an acrostic or a cross stitch, not cross stitch, a crossword puzzle type thing. It's acrostic. And then they have two challenges. One is AB Singo in September and one is Baringo in January. And I love participating in those because they're just a month-long challenge that I can do. And then the rest of the time I can do what I want. And I just love watching what everybody else is stitching on in that group. So we're going to talk about AB Singo. And then we're going to talk about my kitted projects and why I have had kitted projects for 5 or more years and I still haven't done them. So we'll talk about that. And then I have my coffee in my fall cup because I am just dying for fall to start. It is in the 90s this week here in South Central Kentucky. And I'm hoping this is the last run of 90s we're going to have because I am sick of the heat. But I'm going to take a sip of my coffee. This is my 3rd cup today because I felt like I needed more coffee because I feel sleepy and I don't want to be sleepy during this video. So let's show you what I've got. And if I remember what the pattern is, where I've gotten it, who the designer is, I will mention that information. If not, I'm sorry. Some of them I will not remember where they came from. So let's start with the smallest ones first. This is a little pillow, and this was a freebie pattern. I have no idea where I got it. It was just a freebie pattern, and I turn it, and it says Chatroville, which is cat. And I just made a little pillow out of it. I put some ribbon around it. The back is the same color as the front, and I do not remember where I got this, but somewhere on the internet as a freebie. So that's my first one. My next one is a Doreen Jones. I think I finished this last year. And I can't remember the name of the pattern, but she does sell it on her Etsy shop. And it is a 3D item. So it kind of looks like it started out as a biscornu, almost. And then you just finish it a little differently. She has hers. I have jewels hanging from the bottom that match the cat. You can see he's got some blue there and there's blue on the back. And then I've got beads as the hanger here. And this hangs on my Halloween tree, which is a, I don't have a picture of it right now, but I'll take a picture for the next video so you can see the display and see the what I call the wicked tree. It has no leaves, it's just branches, black, and I hang ornaments on it. So that is by Doreen Jones, and I can't remember the name of it. It might be Black Cat, but you can find that on her Etsy shop. The next one is just a small ornament that I made from an issue of Just Cross Stitch Magazines, one of their fall issues. This is a Prairie Schooler. It is also in one of their books. I just don't remember the name of the book, but it's just the owl. And I just made a little hanging ornament to go on my tree. It's got just a little bit of felt backing to it. So it just hangs on the tree, so that's owl. The next one is also a Prairie Schooler, but I made this as a stand-up. This is the instructions by Vanna. She showed how to do a stand-up. This is also a Prairie Schooler. It's in one of their booklets. Can't remember the name of the book. It might be their October book. I'm not positive. But that was one of the designs there, stitched with all the called for colors. It's a stand-up, as you can see. This is the back fabric. And then it's got a piece of ribbon holding it. And that gets put up with little tassels hanging from it. And that is my Prairie Schooler finish. I guess I could have looked all this up before I started this, but I didn't think about it. This one here is a Cricut collection called Autumn, and I just put it on a board. The fabric that I used is called Claire. It is from Hand Dyed by Stephanie, and it was just perfect for this. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with this fabric until I saw this pattern, and it just hit me that this is going to be the one. So it is on a double matted on 2 boards, and it's got a hanger at the top, and it's all the called for colors except for the leaves that are in it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, the leaves, I used Falling Leaves from Gentle Arts, but the rest of it is all the called for DMC. And that one was called Autumn from the Cricut collection. I have yet to do any of the other seasons in the Cricut collection, but I have them all. I just haven't done them yet. The next one is called Peace and Plenty, and I cannot tell you where this came from. It was a very old magazine. It was I usually when I get my magazines and stuff, I tear out the patterns that I like and I throw the rest of it away. So I have no idea because I've already gifted this pattern to another stitcher, but this is called Peace and Plenty. The next one is from Diane Arthurs, and it was from Imaginating, and it's called Give Thanks. And I love this one with the crow and the pumpkin. It is one of my favorites. Again, I don't have the pattern anymore. I gifted it. This one is from Ronaldo Parolin, and this I can show you the actual book it came out of because I still have the book. It's called The Best of Ronaldo Parolin. A few years ago, it was probably 2000, more than a few years ago, 2018, this book hit Amazon, and it was like 20 bucks, $18, and there were 5 or 6 of them, so I contacted all my stitchy friends and said, hey, the Ronaldo Parolin book is $18 and on Amazon, and you need to jump on it because that book is not going to be that price forever. So several of my stitchy friends got this book. It is an absolutely fabulous book. I would suggest that if you're interested in Ronaldo Parolin products or patterns, that you keep an eye on Amazon. Some of his books do come up every once in a while and you can get lucky. But this one was, I don't know if it had a name or not. It's hard to tell with his if he puts names on his. Because they're all in like French. Yeah, they're in French, so I wouldn't even know what the name is, but it's 2 squirrels, and I did this on a fabric that I hand dyed myself, and I absolutely love this. I love it in this frame. I like that the frame is real ornate, and then the 2 squirrels are there with all the leaves and the acorns and stuff. It's really a beautiful piece. I love it. The next piece is a piece from Hands-On Design, and I finished it like she showed it finished, and it's called Blissfully Unaware, and this is it. And again, I love this piece. I love it on the purple fabric. It's just adorable. Sorry about the nails. The nail polish is starting to peel and I didn't get a chance to change it. So don't look at my terrible nails. And so it is hands-on design. The back has all the bat fabric on it. And it was quite easy to stitch and finish. I absolutely love it. The only thing I wish I had thought about doing was using glow-in-the-dark for the skeleton hands. That would have been really cool because it would have glowed at night, which would have been really made the piece stand out in the evenings. And the last one that I'm going to show you is a Satsuma Street. This is, I think this is called Black Cat. And it is stitched on, I think that's a fabric I dyed myself. And there it is. I absolutely love this piece as well. Love the black cat on it. And I think it came out adorable. It's still available. You can probably find it on her Etsy shop or at, oh, Halloween Cat. That's what it was called. Halloween Cat. And, or at your shop because it comes as a hard copy. Or you can get it as a PDF. So those are my Halloween and fall finishes. I might have more, but I don't know where they're at right now. I'm still missing some of my Halloween decorations that I need to figure out. So I wanted to show that first. I thought that would be fun for some people to see. I like to enable stitchers, so if they see something they really like, that they'll go and buy it and stitch it up as well, because they were lots of fun. I did want to mention my shirt, and it's a message to all women. It is know your worth, then add tax. So anybody that needed that message, it is a definite must. Know your worth and then add tax extra. Okay, because you're worthy of the best. Okay, so we got that down. Let's see. Let's talk about what I stitched on before AB Singo started, because I did stitch on a couple things before AB Singo, and I think I buried them. I did. I buried them in the bottom. So, and I'll talk about why I have to keep frogging stuff, because that seems to be happening a lot lately, that I have to frog stuff. What is that? Look at that. It's caught in my comb. Oh well, it's going to stay like that. Okay, so this one I didn't frog anything on, but this is Winter Animals by the Little Stitcher. I got it as a PDF, so I have a printout. I love these. I don't think she ever has sales on her shop, but I just wanted to try some of her patterns and see if I like stitching on them. And it is so cute. I do have the fabric, which is the petty point. It is a 32 count natural petty point. I did finish, the last time I showed this, I only have my deer partially done. And I have finished the deer. I just haven't put the snowflakes or the snow on the ground on it yet. And they're so cute. And I have a nice piece where I can add several more on there. They're going to be little pillows. So I think it'll be really cute to get these finished off and into a bowl for the winter season, not so much for Christmas or anything. So I worked on that a little bit. And now it's kind of on hold until AB Singo is over. So hopefully I'll pick that back up when I get done with that. And then I was working on, so I gotta throw that stuff down there so it's out of my way because I'm covered in stuff here. And I'm sorry about the zipper noises. I forgot to unzip things before I started. I was working on my mittens. So this one is Mittens Once More, the Cricket Collection. And I was doing the one that is right here, that is the deer. And I was doing okay. I was working on it. I had changed the color of the deer because if you can't see it in that picture, the deer has kind of got a greenish tone to it. And I didn't want that. I wanted my deer to be more tan. So I picked a color that was tan. But apparently I didn't pick it tan enough because it was blending in with the background. So of course I had to rip it all out. So as you can see, I was stitching around the deer and then I had to rip it all out. So now I have to pick a different color, a darker brown, for the deer. So this is on a little timeout right now while I figure out what color I'm going to stitch it in, get him back in again, and finish out the mitten. So I'm trying to get as many of these little mittens as I can done so I can get them finished before I put up my Christmas tree. And I know you're all are saying, well, don't you have enough to finish as it is? Yes, I do. I have a stack of things to finish, and they're still sitting in the stack to be finished. I procrastinate finishing anytime I do it because I try to have a plan and pull all the stuff out, match fabrics or match what I'm going to do, write down what my plan is for each piece, and then, you know, work on them one by one. And last time I pulled them all out and I matched everything to fabric, that's as far as I got. And it went back in the pile, it went back in the basket, and that's as far as I got with it. And now I'm coming up on the holidays and I have a lot of ornaments in there. I have some fall stuff in there. I have stuff I want to get finished. So I'm going to have to take some time and get them finished. I am off. I'm usually off just, I'm off 2 days a week, but I'm normally not off. My 2 days a week are not off together. So I shoot the videos on Tuesdays and I try to get some stitching done. This week I have Tuesday and Wednesday off because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow. So I might, in the morning before the appointment, pull it all out again, try to figure out what I'm doing with it, and see if I can get a couple of things finished before my appointment. And then when I come back home, to see if I can get some more done. One of the things I want to get done is my stocking. Mind you, the stocking is finished. I finished it. I'm going to show it. And I have in my head now, one of the people that, one of you stitchy girls, made a comment about using fatigue camouflage. And I thought that was an excellent idea because my son loves that. He loves hunting and he's, you know, he's the man now. Tomorrow he turns 23. I just can't believe he is 23 right now, and he is tall, like 6'3", 6'4". He's, you know, he's not skinny at all. He's a good size young man. And not fat, just stocky. And I think he would love, because he loves guns and he loves the hunting thing, so I think the camouflage was a perfect idea. I'm going to go tomorrow either to Hobby Lobby and see if they have any camouflage, or we have a store called Paul's Discount, and they've started carrying fabric, and maybe I'll get lucky over there and find some camouflage to use for the stocking and get that done, because I need to get it fully finished and get it mailed out to him in the next month or so he has it. But anyway, I need to get finishing done because it's just piling it up. And I don't know how I got on that rant, but let's go back to what we were talking about. Anyway, okay, so that was my Halloween stuff. I've showed you what I was working on, and now let's talk about AB Singo. And I know I received 1 or 2 messages about AB Singo. It is in the Facebook group, Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge. You can look that up. I don't think it's secret, and you can ask to join. If it asks how you learned about the group, you're more than welcome to use my name or my channel name, and let them know that I mentioned it, and hopefully they will let you come in. But it's a lot of fun. Like I said, Carolyn Zook and Robin Hall. Carolyn Zook is C. Zook Stitch. Robin Hall has a channel too. Bird's Eye Stitcher is what I think it is. And they run the group. So it is lots of fun. Like I said, they have a monthly challenge group that is acrostic, and then they do twice a year this bingo type monthly challenge. So lots of fun. So I'm going to show you, this is my board for AB Singo. You can see I have 4 projects already finished, or already had got my stitches in, because you have to do 1 hour of stitching or 100 stitches to meet your challenge. And you post before and after pictures of your stitching, what it looked like before you started the challenge, what it looks like after. So far we've had 5 calls, right? Today is the 5th. And let's talk about the projects that I have worked on and how they look now. So the first one is Rose Quaker. I've showed this, that I said I want to do at least 1 motif a month. And this is going to have glare because I didn't pull it out of the plastic, but it looks like this. And it is by Stickendien von der Wehenberg. That is German, I'm sure it is. You could find it on info@wehenberg.de. I'll try to post that below, so you guys, if you're interested in that pattern, or if you just do a search for Rose Quaker, it should come up. I will post a picture here of what it looked like the last time you saw it. Sorry, I'm starting to lose my voice. Hold on. That seems to happen every morning for some reason. And then I'll show you what it looks like now. So I am working on this flower motif that's in the center. So this is the whole project, and that one right in the center there that's partially done. And then there it is. So I've got a couple of the roses done, one rose, couple of petals there. And I got to get that finished before the end of the month. And I do believe this gets called 2 more times. So absolutely love this. It's being stitched on a 36 count Winter Moon by Zweigart. 2/2, all the called for beautiful colors, which are DMC colors. And they just look spectacular together. It's just beautiful coloring. So that was on September 1st. That was my first call for Bringo. And normally I stitch more than 100 stitches or an hour. I do it by hours. I don't count stitches. So I normally stitch more than an hour, though. I usually will do, if it's during work week or work day and I'm coming home to stitch, I try to get at least a couple hours in. If it's on my days off, I might stitch more. So that was my first one. Day 2 was Antique Roses, and this one's got a story. We're talking about ripping stuff out and frogging. I'm going to post a picture here. What Antique Roses, a Thea Governor. It is out of a magazine. I believe it is, let me see. I think it's Just Cross Stitch. Yeah, it's out of Just Cross Stitch, March, April 2006. That's where this pattern came from. And this is what it looks like. And okay, so now let me post the picture here, and you'll see I am working on that little center petal right there. Okay, so this is what it looks like. And this is what it looks like now. Empty. It's empty. Of course, you can probably, I don't know if you can see that or not, where I ripped it all out, all of it. I stitched my challenge amount, and then I decided that I didn't like stitching 2/2 on this even weave because the stitches looked so cramped. The more I stitched it, the more I didn't like it. I don't want to say hated it, but didn't like it. So I spent the last 3 days ripping out my stitches from here. And the sad part is I had, oh, hold on a minute. Oh. Hopefully you didn't catch too much of that. Every morning I lose my voice for a little while. I have no idea. I don't know if that's because of my thyroid. I have hypothyroidism. I have to take medication every day. And I don't know if that's what it is or something else. But anyway, back to what we're talking about. I apologize. If the cough was heard, I'm going to cut the video on and back off again. So if you see this cut on and off, that's why. Because it was too loud in the mic. And I didn't want you to have to listen to me cough. I do sample cut stitches. You know, I do some stitches. And I do it 1/2 and 2/2 to decide if, I guess I could go to the side of the camera, that would help, huh? If I like the way the stitches are. And I chose 2/2 because I like that the color was a little more pop than the 1/2. But this fabric, even though it is a 32 count, is just a tight weave. And it was just looking really sloppy, which was disappointing because I absolutely love this piece. I think it's beautiful, but I'm going to have to restart it. So I'm going to have to wait until AB Singo's over, and then I will restart it again, 1/2. At least get it started again, because, you know, I'm disappointed that I have to rip it all out. So that's what happened to Antique Roses, and that was day 2. Day 3 got called Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. And this is what that looks like. Again, it's going to have glare because I didn't take it out of the packaging. But that is by Carriage House Samplings. You've seen this all over the Facebook and Instagram, on YouTube. It's everywhere. But I'm stitching mine on a purple. And I've been kind of addicted to this. So before it was even called, I had already done more work on it. So the last time you saw it, it looked like this. And in between then the time you saw it and before it got called, I had stitched on it already, so it looked like this. And now I finished some more stitching for the challenge, and it is along the bottom. I did some of the gravestones and some of the, I don't know what that orange is, grass or something, I don't know what it is. But this is where it's at now. You can see all that stitching on the bottom. That's what I did for my AB Singo. But I'm kind of addicted to this piece. I want to stitch on it all the time. I love it on the purple, and the purple really isn't there. That's the purple, you see, but when I move it up, it kind of washes out. But that's it. It's just beautiful. This is hand dyed by me, 18 count Aida that I had softened. I had softened before I dyed it. It was a stiff Aida, and remember I talked about the video that I was going to shoot. Well, I did shoot that, and I've uploaded it before this video. So if you haven't watched it yet, you can look for it. It is a Flosstube Extra softening Aida. So it'll be in my, I have playlists. You can find it in my playlist. So, but absolutely love this. I'm enjoying stitching on it, 1/2. And I just love the design. I don't know why. I'm just attracted to it, and I'm enjoying stitching it. And I have, you know, the floss is just beautiful. It's all DMC. And this is just the floss for that one block. I only keep this floss for one block at a time. I don't like to carry it all in my bag because it's just too bulky and stuff. But look at all those beautiful Halloween colors. And as I mentioned before, I am using some of the DMC glow in the dark, which I used for the ghost on this block. This block, the ghost will glow. I'm also thinking about using, I haven't put the yellow in the windows yet, and I'm thinking I'm going to get some glow in the dark Krynic and put it in the windows, so the windows will glow yellow when the lights go out, which will be nice. But really enjoying this. It's in my kitty bag that I made. I absolutely love this little bag. It's so cute. It's got little handles on it. And it's got my little witchy cats. And just adorable fabric. I had that fabric for the longest time and didn't do anything with it, and then finally made some stuff with it. So that was day 3. And then day 4 was called Fancy That's Baking Elf. So the elves are the other thing that I'm trying to get worked on before Christmas. I have one finished that I need to fully finish, and I'd like to get this one finished as well and get it fully finished. And this is Fancy That Baking Elf. And coincidentally, number 1, this was a new start, so it didn't have anything started before the 4th, and it also got called for the 5th. So I have to stitch on this today as well. So I'll have 2 days of stitching on it. It has some beautiful colors, and all these colors, most of them are my own color choices. There are a few in here that are the called fors, but if I didn't have the called for, I am not wasting money on floss if I don't need to, because I have a whole wall of fancy floss. So I'll pick something else that looks similar or to my liking, and that's what I'll use. So this is where I'm at. This is my new start on Fancy Elf, and I did a couple of the motifs over her head, and then I started her hat. So there it is. And I really don't know, I've mentioned it before, I hate to waste fabric. I usually pre-cut my fabrics to fit the design so that I don't waste fabric. And I almost started this in the middle, and this is a huge piece of fabric. And thankfully I got my wits about me and said, don't do that. But I also didn't cut it up yet to match the designs. So I think I wasted fabric because I left too much on the top and on the side than I would need to finish this. So I may have to start cutting this up for each of the elves so that I can get it zigzagged around the edges and get it with the pattern so I don't make that mistake again. Because again, fabric's expensive. I don't know about you guys, but fabric has really gone up in price. And I've noticed, and I'm not sure, if somebody knows, please tell me why Color and Cotton dyer, her fabric on the secondary market is like crazy priced. Like I see people selling it for $20 or $25 for an eighth cut. Not a half, not a fat quarter, but a fat eighth or an eighth. Which is 13 by 17 and you're selling it for $20 or $25 and people are buying it. So I don't get it. I don't get it at all. I'm sure her fabric is beautiful. I think I've only had one piece of her fabric when she first started dyeing. I am mostly a Bestitch Me fan or my own fan. So my own dyeing, I'll use my own fabric dyeing. It's not very often I have any other type of fabric. I have little bits and pieces of different things that I've gotten on the secondary market. But I normally try to stick with what I know I really enjoy stitching on. I've talked about this, Picture This Plus before, that their holes are so tight that even on 32 count you have to stitch 1/2. You can't do 2/2, it's just too thick for that fabric. It really shrinks the spaces between the threads. So I'm not a fan of Picture This Plus. I have a couple of pieces still. I will not buy any more. There's a couple of other dyers too that fabric just, it doesn't appeal to me. Bestitch Me's Brandy does an awesome job with her fabrics. They don't shrink like that. I enjoy dyeing my own stuff and getting my own colors, and I enjoy doing that, and it's lots of fun too. I do have a video in my playlist that shows you how to dye your own fabric. So if you want to watch that, just go through my playlist and you'll find it there. There's several tutorials. There's a tutorial on dyeing fabric. There's one on how to finish the Prairie Schooler Santas. There is one for thread drops and how to make your own. There's several of them on there, and now you will see the how to soften your Ada. That will also be in that playlist. So yeah, I don't know how I got off on that tangent either, sorry. But and this is one of my favorites, which, I love Zweigart fabrics, but flax is one of my favorite colors. So I really like that, the way that looks. It almost has its own little variation to it, which I really love. So that is day 4 and day 5. So that's what I have been stitching on for the last several days. And so I'm going to continue working on Bringo. Not Bringo, sorry, AB Singo, and try to keep up with it. I do my best to try to keep up with this. It is only 25 letters, so it's from the 1st to the 25th. And then you have from the 25th to the 31st September to the 30th and that's just driving me nuts right there. Hold on, I gotta fix it. That's just driving me nuts. We'll probably do it again. You have until from the 26th to the 30th to play any catch up you have to do. So if you had days where you didn't get a chance to stitch, you were sick, or you had plans or whatever, you have those days to catch up. And the great thing is it's only an hour or 100 stitches. You could do multiple projects in one day, just an hour or 100 stitches and go to the next one and get yourself caught up. So they don't make it so hard that you can't keep up. Okay, so some other things that I've been working on is punch needle. I'm going to put my book down here. I started making little ornaments and stuff out of punch needle. These were freebie designs, or they were coloring designs that I happened to find on the internet, traced them onto my punch needle fabric, and as you can see, this one is a peppermint, and then the ghost. I haven't finished him yet, so that's what it is, but I'm going to flip it over so you can see what it actually looks like. Lay that against it, and there you go. So I've got my candy, and I really need to do a little more white on the peppermint candy. It's not dense enough, so I'm going to fix that, and then I'm going to finish with my little ghost. And the little ghost will go as an ornament, and he'll get hung on my Halloween tree. And I have plans to do several more, and they're really quick to stitch. Once you get them started, it only takes like a day or so to get them, you know, it doesn't take that long to get them finished. And it's lots of fun. I enjoy punching. The only problem I have with punching is that I seem to hold the pen so tight that my hand starts to hurt. And I've lost practice because I haven't punched now in several months, and now I have to relearn my rhythm in punching, and that gets frustrating because I feel like I'm starting all over again. So I need to make sure I'm doing punching all the time so that I can keep my knowledge on how to do it efficiently without feeling so tense and trying to squeeze the pen out of my hand and do it. I went over to Hobby Lobby, and what I'm doing with my punch needle supplies is I use DMC, and I use three strands of DMC, and I separate my 6 strands into 3 strands, and there's a video, if you look at, I want to say it's called Doodle Dog Designs. She is a puncher. I'm almost sure that's what it is. I will post it below. She shows you a video on how to separate your DMC into a set of 3 real easily. So I will make sure I post that video below for you so you can look. So if you're interested in separating your threads, whether it is for punching or for whatever reason, wool applique or whatever you're doing. But I started buying these wood spools over at Hobby Lobby. They look like this. They come in a 4-pack for $3.99, and of course they never go on sale because their wood sale is for anything $4.99 and above, and these are only $3.99. So I'm not going to get a sale on those. But I put, I split my whites and my blacks onto 2 spools, and it's 3 strand, and I just wrap it around it so I have it, and then I just mark what it is on the top of the spool. So as I use more colors, I'll be splitting my threads and stuff and doing that. And you can tell by looking at this. Oh, again, I don't know if you guys can tell or not. I'm going to kind of stand up here. But when you look at the ghost, you see how fluffy this is and fine. This is DMC. This is all done in DMC. Now this one here is a little more loopy. It's got real loops. It's a little more stiff. This is pearl cotton. So I did one in pearl cotton, and then I did the ghosty in the DMC. I really do love the way the DMC is because it's just a soft, and it really fills in beautifully. But I have a lot of pearl cotton that I bought on eBay several years ago, and they came like this on these little spool holders. They belonged to somebody at some point, but there's like a whole bag of pearl cottons, and I think they're pearl cottons. It's the smaller one, so it might be the 5. It's like almost 2 strands of DMC, but it's 1 strand, and so I want to use that up as well. So I'll use it for doing my wool applique, and then I'll use it for punching as well. So, but I'm leaving these on the wood spools that they're on. I think they're kind of cool. I don't know what I'll do with them once they're empty, but I think they're kind of cool. So I've been working on that. I do have more patterns drawn up. I have a pattern that I just got that looks like I have it traced. I just haven't got it on my punch yet, but it looks like this, which I think is so adorable, and it's relatively small. Little House Needleworks, and it is Nutty Buddy fall design, and I really want to get that punched up in the next month or so, and I think it's so adorable. So that was a new pattern for me. So I've been working on my punch needle. I need to work on my wool applique. I didn't bring my wool applique table mat that I made, but next time I video I'll show that as well. So I'll show you some wool applique. So that's what I've been doing, and then I just got a couple of things that were new. And it was, number one was, it was another Mill Hill Joyful Santas. I think I paid like $2 for it. I love these Mill Hill books. They have some adorable patterns in them, and some of them are very hard to find. This one cost me $2. It was well worth it. One of the Unload groups. And I love the Santa with the sleigh. And I love all the Santas up here. I just think they're adorable designs. So I got that. That was one of my purchases. And then Autumn Lane Stitchery, which I have come to adore, released last year's Halloween box design, which was Tonight We Ride, and I jumped on it as soon as it became available. It is absolutely adorable, and you can see my ink ran out down here, starting to turn purple, but I got the design printed before it did. And I have the fabric, the called for fabric that was part of that bundle that I bought of Bestitch Me, so I have the fabric. And I definitely want to do this. I will not start it this year because I have too many Halloween things going right now. But I definitely will start this next year. And I'm excited about that. And then, of course, Crochet A Go Go had to release. They have the winter sampler, which I absolutely adore. And they came out with their autumn sampler. And I was like, you know, you just like, oh my Lord. I jumped on that. I couldn't help myself. Look at that piece. And of course, the Camping Stitcher has already started it. So she's got the winter sampler going and the autumn sampler. I will not start that this year. This is, again, definitely a start for next year. As I try to finish up some of my old whips this year. And the last one I think I got as a freebie. I want to say I got this as a freebie. I didn't pay for it, but I'm not possible. I'm not positive. This is from this Witchy Stitcher. And it's witchystitcher.com, and it is called Sad Pumpkin. And I think it was a freebie on her site. I'm not positive, but you might want to go check it out. I love him. I love him with the black and white around him. And I think he's just adorable. So I picked that up. I'm sure it was a freebie. So I got that. That's what I purchased this week. That little bit. I did not go crazy. I did get 2 other patterns from New York Dreamer on Etsy. She had a 50% off sale on some of her patterns over Memorial Day weekend, and I jumped on 2 of the coffee patterns because I wanted them. I need to go over to Hobby Lobby to see if the coffee frame, the metal frame that goes with one of them, is still available so I can go over and get it. And by the way, happy Memorial Day, or not Memorial, happy Labor Day. I don't want to keep wanting to call it Memorial Day. Happy Labor Day to everybody in the U.S. And it's funny because today, 23 years ago, I was in labor with my son, which started at 7 o'clock in the morning. And he wasn't born until 41 minutes after midnight on the 6th. So I was in labor all day with him. And so I will think about him all day, as I knew 23 years ago on this day. And the exact day, Monday was a holiday, and they wouldn't take me into the hospital. They didn't want to do it on a holiday because I was overdue. So they postponed it a day and put me in the hospital on Tuesday because they needed to induce me. And that's what I was in labor all day Tuesday, 17 hours. And they tried inducing me, and I could not progress, and ended up having a C-section at 41 minutes after midnight on September 6th, and gave birth to my beautiful baby boy, who was 9 pounds, 12 ounces. I knew he was going to be a big boy because I was overdue, and his dad is about 6'3", so I kind of knew that he'd be a big boy. So happy birthday to my son Hunter for tomorrow. I love you madly. You are my whole world, and I wish you well. So I don't think he watches my channel. Okay, so let's talk about one other thing. Since I'm on a rock and roll here, we're going to talk about kitted projects. So I have this bad habit of kitting things and then never pulling them out to start them. Because I kit them, I'm excited, I kit it up, and then before I get a chance to start one of my kitted projects, some other new squirrely thing comes along and it draws my attention away, and I'm kitting up something totally different and starting it. I'm glad my voice isn't cutting in and out anymore. So let's talk about what I have in my kitted thing that's been sitting forever. And this hasn't been sitting forever, so I'm not even going to talk about that. That's just something I need to restitch. One of my ornaments that I gave away to someone last year. This here has been sitting for well over a year. This beautiful bag. Here, let me zip this. Oh, I don't want to zip it back up. It's too much noise. This beautiful owl bag that my friend Kim, which is Kim T X Stitch Crazy on Instagram, made me for this project because we were going to start it together, and we still haven't started it. Kim, we got to pick this for next year sometime and just get it started. And it is, I don't know who this is because it's all words I don't understand, but it's the owl. It's the flying. I mean, he is just absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous! He is all kitted up because he came with the threads and the fabric and everything. And I'm almost sure I decided I wasn't going to do him. In fact, I might have tried just getting him on a, yeah, I did. I started on a little mini start. Hold on, I'm trying to see which way it goes. I did, just so I'd have a center point, so I'd know when we started it, I would have a reference point, and that's when I decided I didn't like the Ada. So that was my little inky dinky start on Ada. And then I turned around and I got a piece of Jubilee and 28 count to do them on. But now that I know how to fix the Ada and make it soft, I think I will remove the stitches from this, and I will follow my same process of soaking this in order to soften it up. And I think I'm going back to my Ada, and I'll save my Jubilee for something else. But it is just a beautiful kit. It came with all the floss. It is just beautiful colors. And I've seen this done. I can't remember who showed it on their Flosstube. Oh my gosh, but it was absolutely gorgeous. So I need to get this done. Oh, Miss Kim, let's make a decision here and see if we can get this rolling. Even if it's just a start along, that would be fine with me. But let me get my fabric soft and maybe we can start it. Maybe we can do a new year, a new start. Sorry about the zipping. So that was one. This has been kitted up for a while, and I took the fabric out because I'm going to pause this for so I cut it off and restarted it because it was a lot of zipping and I wasn't sure the microphone cut off, so I wanted to make sure that it did. Some of these patterns are quite old, but I've been wanting to do them and I never ever do them. So let's show them and kind of figure out why I'm not doing it. This one is from Eva Brent. This is a very old pattern. It is called Cat Eye. I'm looking to see if there's a date. There is no date, but this is what it looks like. And I love that. Love cats. I really want to do some more cat designs since I have two babies that are kitties. And I did have some fabric in here that was like that. It was like an ivory fabric, but then it got a spot on it, so I ended up having to pull it out of the bag. But this is my floss for it. I mean, it's not a lot of floss. It's just several colors, maybe 8 or 10 colors. And I haven't done it. Why haven't I done it? It's not like it's full coverage. I mean, all you're doing is the outlining, the eyes, the nose, right? I don't know. And then I thought about doing it in different color, maybe in a gray. I don't want to do it in black because there's a lot of brown in here and stuff, and I think that would kind of get lost in it, but maybe a gray. I have a calico cat and I have a black cat. So I don't think I'm going to be able to match a cat to it, but I think if I did it in a gray with the blue eyes and I thought about changing his blue eyes or her blue eyes to a green because both of my cat have green eyes. So I might do that and color convert the eyes to green. But I really need to do that. It's not a ton of stitching, so I don't know why I can't get that started. So that's the first one. This one here, which is Hive Rules, and I have done several of these. What I ended up doing was I took the design and I cut it up into pieces. This is Hive Rules, and made pillows out of them. But I haven't finished it. I've made 1, 2, 3, I think 3, maybe 4 pillows from it. And yeah, 4 pillows. There's one here that's finished that needs to be fully finished. I have a partial start here, but it was too close to the end, so I had to restart that one. And I still have a lot of fabric here to do the rest, but I haven't done it. And this has been started in, see, April 1st of 22 is when I started this. This is 36 count, 36 count Winter Moon. And I mean, they're adorable, but I wanted to make them all into pillows, and I haven't finished it yet. So I got it partially done, and that was it. So I have that. This is another one that I did partially, because apparently that's how I roll. I just, when there's series on the same book, I just do parts and then don't finish it. This is Hands-On Design, right? And it is Oh Christmas 3. That was part of the Christmas ball from last year. I hope they're doing that again this year. We haven't heard any news about the Christmas ball. What's going on? I want to know. So this is, I've done 2 of them. And I believe the last one that I need to do, I think, is the houses. I haven't done Joy yet. But here it sits. I started it on 12/4 of 22 is when I started all this. And I haven't finished that at all. I have this problem with completing things, apparently. This one here is the Cricut Collection Spring, because I have autumn done. I thought it would be nice to get the rest of them done. This is spring. And I did start this. I think it's still in here. Yep, I started it. I did the eye. And then I decided, after I did the eye, that it's too light, the fabric. The whites and stuff are going to get lost in it. This is getting lost in it. I needed a darker fabric. So I do have a darker fabric, which is this here, which if I put them together, you probably see how dark it is compared to this one. See, much darker. But I haven't started it. It's been sitting since probably the last 3 years, at least, with all the fabric, the floss, everything in it, and not restarted. Because I figured I'd take the little eye, this here, and I'd just make a little pillow out of it. And then move on and restart it. But nope, haven't restarted it. I hope. Okay, just checking to make sure my mic's working. Haven't restarted it, and there it sits. This one here, and you know, another one that I bought this set of 4 band samplers, Little House Needleworks. This one is spring. And what did I do? I decided, I had the fabric, I decided to cut the fabric because I didn't want all this fabric hanging. And I didn't measure correctly, so I cut it too short. So as you can see, I've got the birds and stuff, but then the rest of it's not going to fit on there. So I cut it too short. So again, I'm supposed to restart it on this piece, which is, I think, is long enough. And here it sits. You know, you have those mistakes and you put things in timeout and then they stay there permanently. And then the rest are probably things that I have never worked on and have been kitted up for quite a while. So the next one is Stony Creek's Let It Snowman. Isn't he fabulous, huh? I love snowmen. I love him so much that I've let him sit for several years, probably 4, and have not started him. I have a piece of, I don't know what kind of fabric this is. I'm sure there's a note in here somewhere, but it is a piece of fabric that is opalescent. And I think he'd be beautiful on there. So I have that in there. I have all the floss in there. I have little buttons that I bought for the snowflakes around him. Instead of getting them called for, I just got little snowflake buttons from Hobby Lobby. There's the fabric. 28 count Crystal Hermosa. And it's probably Picture This Plus that I don't like. but I love the fabric. It's pretty. I'm sure I could probably do it 1/2, but again, here it sits. Haven't started it. I love it. And I guess I love it so much that I'm saving it for the best time to start. I'm not sure when that is. The next one, is Mrs. Claus. I finished Mr. Claus. I finished Needle Nick. My gosh, 5 years ago. And here's Flossie Claus. She's still waiting to get started. I've started working on the elves, but I really need Mrs. Claus with Mr. Claus. But I have not started her. And I have the floss in here, but I do not have the fabric. I think Needle Nick or Santa was started on Mushroom Lugana, so I will start her on Mushroom Lugana sometime in my lifetime, maybe. The next one is by the Stitching Studio, and you might have seen Gary at Garon Stitchery stitch this. I've had this one in a bag with all its floss forever, and is called Mouth of the Flower. And I think that is so cool. And there is a companion piece right there, which is called Family of Birds, which I haven't picked up yet, but it also looks like a woman's face. That is so cool. And all the floss is sitting in here, just wasting away. And I haven't got the fabric yet, because I think it calls for, they say it's called Lavender Mist. I have not found that. I think I got a piece of the Stitch Me fabric that's very similar that I could use, but that was just recently. But it's been sitting for years in this bag. The next one is, and I started this, and then I picked a Picture This Plus to do it on, and that was a huge mistake because it's stitched on 40 count 1/1. So, and this is Blackberry Lane Designs, nothing else. I wanted to do this little squirrel, hang it on a chain for the fall, and wear it. And I absolutely love it. He is just stinking adorable. And I started it. It's got threads hanging from it, but it's started. But it is so tight that I can't, just that little dinky start right there. I can't do it on this fabric. So I was going to find another fabric to do it on that wasn't a Picture This Plus and finish it, because it fits in this little dinky holder right here that goes on a chain. So needless to say, that is still sitting here, waiting for me to find another piece of fabric. So he's waiting for me. And then there is this piece that I absolutely adore, that I couldn't wait to start when I got it. And it is called Gathering Pine Cones by Hillside Samplings. And you might have seen Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher, doing this one, because she has her started. Whether she finished it or not, I'm not sure. And I have this in there. I have the mushroom fabric to stew it. I also have the button that goes on it, which is hard to find the button at this point, and all the floss. I have all this is Threadworks thread in there. There is some DMC ecru. It is 12 count, not 12 count. 12 pound, is that how they say it? I don't know. It's number 12. And I have all this sitting in here for, let's see, 5 years. 5 years this has been waiting to be stitched. So I am definitely starting this in October. It is not a huge stitch. It has specialty stitches in it, but it is just an alphabet, and the specialty stitches are each of the acorns in the middle, and then it's got a border. So we're not talking about a lot here. So I really would love to get this done. So let's see in October, when I'm through with AB Singo, if I can get that started. This here was gifted to me by a wonderful stitcher, and I still have not started, even though I said I was going to start at the beginning of January. Oh, and I don't have a picture of it. So, but it is the Gold Collection Sweet Nectar design, which is the hummingbird. And if I can find a picture, I'll post here. And I have it all kitted up here, waiting to get started, because it was a kit in this beautiful bag. And it's been sitting for 3 years, maybe 2 years. Maybe, I think it's 2 years. I haven't started it. This here, in my patriotic bag that Leslie, Fat Cat Flossing, made me. We did a bag swap. Is Lila's Studio, Let Freedom Ring. And I've had this kitted up. Whoops. All the floss. I think the fabric's in here too. Oh no, no fabric. I must have pulled it out to use it for something. And some of them I got so angry that I wasn't stitching any of this that I said, why am I wasting putting fabric in these and there's just, I'm not using the fabric. So I think I kept the floss in these and I pulled all the fabric and put it in my stash. So if I wanted to use it for something else, I could. But this is a fabulous design. I absolutely love this. When I saw it, I had to get it. I've seen several people stitch it. I have not started it yet. Still sitting in here. Next was a gift from my friend Jen Upton. And it is Sunshine Berry. Now that's a small item. Why haven't I got that stitched yet? And here it sits with the floss. All the floss. The fabric started. And I think she gifted that to me 2 or 3 years ago. And it's still sitting in the bag. Uh-oh, my bags are going to start falling. And there's still tons in here, people. This one here I stitched for my bestie Kim in Florida. Stitch all the things. I left it in here because I wanted to stitch it for me. Still haven't done it. And I have in here the fabric and the floss, and I still haven't done it. So, but at least I got it stitched once, although I don't think I have a picture of hers before I sent it to her. This one, oh yeah, this has been sitting here at least, let's see, 5, maybe 7 years. Maybe 7 years. When I first started, Flosstube, probably. And this is the Pinecone Biscornu. And it's still sitting here. Doesn't look like a ton of stitching. And you have to have the buttons. So I've got buttons for the back. I've got the little pine cones for the centers. I have another set of pine cones I was going to use, but somebody was kind enough to send me the right size. So, but I have pine cones for something else. I have fabric in here. I have all the floss in here. 7 years. How long, let's ask everybody. What do you have kitted that has been sitting the longest waiting for you to stitch? What is it? What is the one item? That's probably my one item that is the oldest kitted item that I have. What's your oldest kitted item that you have not started? Comment below, because I'd like to know. How many things do you have kitted that you haven't started? And then what's your oldest one? That'll be a good question. This here is not been sitting too long, but I have it all, it's in bobbins. That's how long this has been sitting here. And it is a design by Crossed Wing. And what I wanted to do was, and there's the fabrics. I've got the fabric all, and of course, what is it? It's probably 36 count flax. Favorite fabric, one of my favorites. And it's this design right here that I have kitted up, and I haven't started. Now that's probably been kitted up for in 2019, 4 years, and I'll have to take it off those bobbins. I have kitted up Blend in Place Tiramisu, another one that's been sitting probably about 6 years or more. has the fabric, it has all the silks, it has the beads. Still not started. And the reason I bought this is because I saw, oh my god, Off the Grid. What's her name? I know y'all screaming at me. I think it's called Off the Grid, right? And she has a bag shop too. I can't think of her name right now, but I saw her working on this. That's how I ended up purchasing it. But it's just sitting here. This one here, another Hillside Samplings, because I had a love affair going with Hillside Samplings, because I think their patterns are older, but they are beautiful patterns. And again, the floss. This is the pattern, which is called A is for Acorn. And I have the button sitting right there. And that's sitting waiting. And Goodness, another one, Goodness Gracious. These would be so cute in my kitchen, these fruit ones, grapes. And of course I have the flosses, the specialty flosses that I need for it, sitting in it. And then Grape Expectation, which is another Hillside Sampling. I don't have the big piece for this one. This one here takes a grape, and I don't have it. And this one here also has a button to it, and I don't have that. So I figured I would just stitch what was where the button isn't, because I think they give you, oh, they don't. I'll have to make up something. But these have the floss in them as well. And one of them takes a pearl cotton, so that's in here. What else? This one here, which I saw someone stitching, and I went over to the Cooler Design Studio and bought it. It is Cooler Design Traditional Sampler by Sandy Orton, and it was a beautiful design when it was being stitched. This is kind of a digital version. And so it is available on the Cooler Design, has all the floss in it. Marjolaine Baston. Seen, I think it was Calico Whimsy who was stitching on this. It is the Four Seasons. I mean, I love that design. It's a beautiful design, a lot of work, but a beautiful design. All the floss in the bag. Not started. Trying to see what else is here. This one here, that's my Santa one, so that's a in the mix kind of thing because I'm still working on the Santas. Oh yeah, this one too. Had to have it when I started watching the monthly updates on this one and still haven't started it. Modern Folk Embroidery Fruits of Plenty. Absolutely adorable. I love it. Love it. Decided I was going to do it in a tan and red variegated, which this is 115 red variegated. So red and tan, because red tan matches my living room rug. I have an antique white Lugana in here to do it on. Haven't started it. It's a big piece. I have a lot of big pieces rolling. I didn't want to start another one. And then there is this piece that was also gifted to me before it got reprinted, which is, and I haven't started it yet, although I have all the stuff to it, Plantation Sampler. And of course, Colette, the Highway Stitcher, did this one, and that's what got me rolling on it. And I haven't started it yet. I have everything for it. I keep it in this little plastic sleeve so nothing happens to it. And I have all the fabric, which is a summer khaki, was what I was going to do it on. I have all the floss in here, all the specialty floss, which is just fancy floss. And it's the conversion that Colette gave me that is from that shop in Utah. I can't think of what it is. And the last one, and there's a couple others in here, but I'm not going to share them. This one is Things Unseen, the Lizzie Kate 3-part series, which looks like this when it's done. And this has been sitting forever with the buttons, I think since 2019, and the fabric. And I actually got the buttons from the Finishing Touch, which is the shop in Louisville that closed down because the owner passed away. And she sent me these buttons like a year before she passed. It was the last set of buttons she had. And then, of course, Picture This Plus. Ren is the fabric. And now thinking about it, I don't know if I even want to do it on Picture This Plus Ren. But it's in there. And that's pretty much all my kitted. I have like one or two small ones. Like I have Needleworker sitting here. That hasn't been started. Floss all in it. And these are kits. The rest of it is just the kits from the monthly clubs that I have been in. So that's quite a bit. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here that I have not started that I've had for years. So how many are on the same page as I am where you just have all this stuff kitted and ready to roll, but you never seem to pull it out and start it? Join the club. So I guess that's it for now. I do have the winners to the giveaways. So I want to thank everyone for your comments in the last video. I had 2 drawings. One was for international and one was for US only. So for international, and we're talking about the pattern that was the Lizzie Kate Buzz, that is Sharon Mahan. So Miss Sharon, you won this. Please contact me through my email, crossmystitches@yahoo.com. Please put in the subject line winner and send me your address, and I will get that out to you. And the second winner, which was of the you can touch the dust, just please don't write in it. And it was a boxer from Lizzie Kate. And the winner of that one is Sue B. So Sue, if you could please reach out to me on my email address, crossmystitches@yahoo.com. Please put winner in the subject line and then put your name and address so I can mail that out to you. Congratulations, ladies, on that win. You know what I forgot to show you? I was just about to finalize. I didn't show you my finish. Oh my gosh. I finished my stocking. How could I forget that? That should have been shown first. I wanted to finish this before the end of August, and I made it just under the wire. Just under the wire. But here's my finish. How could I forget to show this? There's my stocking. I absolutely adore it. My son is going to love it. So I'll get past my coffee here so you can see the whole thing. Got his name at the top. And we're going to scroll. And there's the deer. And we're going down to the chipmunk and the raccoon and the birds, the chickadees and the snow. And it's just gorgeous. So again, I am so thrilled to have this done. Only 3 years in the making. And I will get this fully finished. Like I said, I'm going to run over and see if I can get some fabric for that and get that fully finished. I can't believe I almost forgot to show that. I am getting so forgetful in my old age. I am getting forgetful really bad. So I showed everything. I did the drawing winners. I showed you my AB Singo board. I'm going to continue doing AB Singo for the next 2 weeks. I'm sure I'll have plenty to show on that. I don't know if I'll be working on anything else besides AB Singo until I get through this month. We'll see. I might try to pick up 1 or 2 other things or stitch in the car or my lunch break when it gets cooler. Right now it's in the 80s, or sorry, it's in the 90s here in South Central Kentucky. We're on our last, hopefully our last heat wave. I'm so over the heat. I really am. I think that's it. Oh, I also bought a cone. You can get a cone of floss. This is white Blanc for $20. I paid $21 for it. I have Walmart Plus, so I don't pay shipping, but $20 for how much is on here? I use a lot of white and black. It has 425 meters for $20. So I figured I might get a black one as well and just not keep buying blacks and whites. So I like that. I like that it's on the cone. And I'm also thinking about dyeing my own. So as I'm dyeing fabric, I might try to dye my own floss and see how that comes out. Just something new. Anyway, I'm trying to think. I'm looking around my room, make sure I didn't forget anything else. This is a long one. I think I need to cut it short. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it didn't bore you with all my stuff, and that you'll come back and see me. If you're not a subscriber, please think about hitting the subscribe button and giving me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And I will see you again in 2 weeks. Have a blessed day. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.